Okay, 6:30. Welcome to Executive Board this evening. First on the agenda is the evacuation procedure. So on hearing the evacuate signal, please carry out the following. Exit the building by your nearest safest exit. All visitors report to assembly point G. All staff report to their designated assembly point on Woolpathway car park. Do not leave the assembly point for any reason until told to do so by the incident controller or fire brigade officer. The next item is apologies. We have apologies from Councillor Simpson. Subbing is Councillor Jens, Councillor Stewart, substitute Councillor Wapples, and also apologies from Councillor Steve Watson. No substitute. Item 3, disclosable pecuniary and non-pecuniary interests. None. 4, public participation.
No questions received.
Item 5, minutes of the meeting of the Executive Board held on the 9th of June of this year. Copies herewith. I'll move the chair, seconded by Councillor Simmons. All those in favour? Unanimous, thank you. Item number 6 is the appointment of principal contractor to the leisure for the leisure project. So members will be aware that the council is committed to building new leisure centre in Addiston, and significant progress has been made with this project. Members, particularly of the Community and Environment Board and its leisure working group, have been kept updated on the progress. As the report sets out, a procurement exercise for a principal contractor to building the leisure centre was carried out earlier this year, and Speller Metcalfe were appointed as our partner. A contract for pre-construction services up to demolition has been entered into, and that work is well advanced. The council is at the stage, therefore, of needing to enter into the main build contract. The council has previously delegated all decisions up to REVA stage 7 to the corporate director of operations in consultation with certain members and the statutory officers. However, a commitment was given to report some of the more important decisions to members where possible and not to cause delay to the project. This report therefore advises members of the key terms to be included in the contract with Speller Metcalfe. Final terms will be negotiated by the council's internal and external teams to ensure that contract terms are reasonable and acceptable. Anybody got any questions, comments, queries? Okay, so I shall move back from the chair, seconded by Councillor Bell. All those in favour? Look at this. Because the sun is shining. Item number 7 is the proposed council tax banded discount scheme. And this report seeks approval to consult on a new council tax banded discount scheme. The draft scheme replaces the current means tested working age scheme with a simplified income banded discount scheme. As the report sets out, there have been a number of operational and administrative issues with the current scheme since the introduction of universal credit in the borough. The draft scheme therefore seeks to reduce the administrative burden associated with universal credit whilst maintaining support for low-income households, improve customer understanding and improve council tax collection rates. The draft scheme aligns with work taking place by the Nuneaton Bedworth Borough Council and therefore will assist with transition arrangements for a local government reorganisation. Anybody got any questions? Councillor Wapples.
Thanks, Chair. I was just going to say really that obviously we put our proposal in the motion that was accepted last time, which sort of reaffirmed the good work that was being done already by this council. And I'm very pleased to hear that we're working with Nuneaton ahead of, you know, the restructuring, whatever that will look like, as we don't know yet. But so I just wanted it noted really that I'm pleased that we are starting to work together so the good work can follow on for our residents. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Watson.
Thank you, Chair. Just some clarity, I guess. I know in the recommendation it talks about introducing this scheme in order to reduce costs. And yet I note in paragraphs 4.15 and 4.16 that costs are actually going up to administer the scheme. So it just seems a bit contradictory to say the recommendation says we're putting this in place to reduce the costs. In 4.15 it says current costs 5.1 million, and in 4.16 it says revised costs 5.4 million. That seems to be going up rather than down.
Paul,
So the cost of the scheme and the amount of discount that we pay out will be more. The administration of the scheme will be less. And what we're establishing is that at the moment, those that are in most hardship and have some debt within the scheme is where we're not able to collect. So in that 8.5% that we have to charge, that we'll have to reduce for everybody within the scheme, there's about 250 to 300,000 pounds worth of debt that we're working to try and recover, which is obviously taking up a significant amount of our time. It'll be the same as with housing benefit, the old housing benefit, where someone would get and families would get full benefit, and the scheme in the top band is what will be delivered there. So the admin of the scheme, our costs, if you like, of the scheme, or our internal costs of the scheme will be less. The external costs will be more, and we expect that at least our bit will be more than offset by the savings that we'll have, and they're the bits that affect us the most. So obviously we administer the scheme as a billing authority, and that's our cost, and the 28,000 additional that we'll pay out, we'd expect to save more than that.
If I could check. Okay, thanks for that, Paul. I mean, it does seem kind of counterintuitive because you know me, I'm a business. I want both. I want the saving and the reduction as well. Good, please, because that's what we're trying to do for our residents. Kind of reduce. It just always feels that we're almost saying, actually, where the debt's difficult to recover, we're almost going to give up. It kind of feels like that. That's what it's kind of saying. And because we're giving up, we're reducing the cost of collecting it, which makes sense. But it just worries me that we create a system whereby it's easier to not pay and just dig your heels in than actually us collect the money.
I think there's a subtle but significant difference, and what we those that can't pay and those that won't pay, and this will give us the opportunity and the time to target those that won't pay rather than can't, and that's the that's the upshot of really with the strategy. So yeah, subtle but significant difference. And sure enough, there are some people that just won't pay right at this moment in time. Not anymore. Well, then we should be handing them.
Yeah, I think to echo your point, I mean I've had a couple of my residents having issues where they literally couldn't pay, but they were still accumulating debt year on year. And I think for those people who are in that really low income, I think this is definitely a positive thing. I think the only thing I was a bit unsure about from the report, because obviously under the current system we have to reassess them every time their universal credit changes. It's based on weekly income levels. I assume we are still going to reassess them periodically. I just wondered how frequently that might be done.
I'm pretty sure we are.
Yeah, so we will look to review entitlement regularly. We'll still receive the UC notification, so we'll still get that information from the DWP. It will be up to us to decide sort of how regularly we want to review income details, and pushing the onus back on the customer also that it is their responsibility to let us know if their income changes and it's going to affect the band that they're in.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Okay. So I don't see any other hands up, so I'll move that from the chair, seconded by Councillor Simmons. All those in favour? That is unanimous. Thank you. Item number 8, and before I start, I'm pleased to welcome Tim Spires from who's our newly appointed ADIT, and Matt, and I can't remember your surname, sorry, Matt, from NTEC. Thank you. So welcome to the meeting. So the council is reviewing its IT capability and effectiveness in order to improve services to residents and improve workforce efficiency. This work will also help with the council's preparation for local government reorganisation. Consultancy firm NTEC SI excuse me, have been engaged to assist officers with this work. As a result, a revised ICT strategy and roadmap has been produced, as well as the foundation's business case, setting out the initial steps required ahead of a full business case, which will be reported to members later in the year. As the report sets out, these improvements will require some investment, and the board is asked to agree a budget of £230,000 for this work. Councillor Wapples.
Thanks, Chair. Sorry, have you finished or do you want me to come on? Thank you. Our group, North Warwickshire Independent representatives, have sort of been speaking really. We really welcome this look at the strategy. You know, a few of us have got sort of quite an interest in digital side of things, and we appreciate the amount of work that this is going to be, and it's going to be colossal, but equally really important. We were going to propose that maybe we could look at working in small groups as a working party before September to sort of support the officers. I know obviously the work, but obviously with the need for the strength of it to be, you know, contemporary and you know, sort of looking forward really, and looking at how we can look at how that will cross over for potential changes in. We're just wondering what yourself and your thoughts were really on small working parties, perhaps a member from each group or political party, just to sort of assist, and we appreciate the colossal amount of work that will involve. Thank you, Chair.
Chair, I kind of make a suggestion, and then colleagues will jump in. That there is a significant element of this that relates to members, because obviously we've had some views from members about their IT only today, about their IT. So I think we could possibly start with that in terms of what do you want from IT, and then we can perhaps take that on to how further reports are either given to a working group or committee. So if we can park the idea perhaps of a formal working group just for now in terms of getting members together and sorting out their requirements for IT, but then perhaps have a thought outside the meeting as to how this board wants to monitor progress against this strategy, which could be either reports here or it could be by a working group, or it could be either.
Councillor Martin Watson will be our nomination for whatever. Councillor, I've got Councillor Wapples, then Councillor Clune. Yeah.
The other suggestion was sort of, do we need to think about coming through resources as well, because of the amount of money that it's going to cost? But again, you know, open to comments. Thank you.
We can give some thought to that, Chair.
Yeah, I mean, everything will go through obviously the due process and all the rest, but you know, the key thing is it's taken us a while to get to where we are, and now we just want to, well, get it done basically. So I'm conscious of the fact that as members we want to be involved,
Yeah,
and kept up to date, but I'm equally conscious of the fact that we want it done as quick as possible. So
I think from our point of view, it was more that it was great that there was the you know introductory stuff tonight, but then the next is going to be the report in September, and we were kind of thinking what's happening in between, and we would really like to put some input in that. So I think it was from that really, rather than a criticism, it was more of a from a supportive point of view, and just to make sure that we're all singing from the same song sheet before. Sorry, I keep it in my mind. Being very articulate. Thank you anyway.
I was rather hoping by the end of September lots of hardware will be thrown away, new hardware will be bought, and some of the policies and the security will be in so it actually works and we don't keep getting logged up and stuff. I've got Councillor Clues Councillor Watson and then Councillor Bell.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, and I welcome this, especially as my iPad's just shut down on me for the fifth time. But can I just say that any officers that's doing any work on this or sending anything out, please don't forget about our residents, our elderly residents that don't understand any of this and have still not got IT, but still need to know what's going on. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Coos. Councillor Watson, you're it. I've already said.
Thank you, Chair. Listen, if this means I can get all of my Exchange accounts on all of my devices without the need for NWBC to manage the device, bring it on.
Bell.
Yeah, thanks, Jim. Yeah, I also welcome it. It's brilliant. And I've got every confidence that, we've got the IT knowledge now in the two people here to get this done. What I am concerned about is the culture in the organisation and how we turn people round so they understand that IT is the lifeblood of the organisation and the way they interact with it. The fact that clean data is absolutely essential, otherwise it's not worth anything. So getting that interface right is going to be really challenging. So who's going to lead on that?
Sid.
The three people sat in front of you, we are going to lead that. I think we absolutely understand that and absolutely agree that it is those interfaces that we all have with IT that we need to improve and we need to make better. So I think the piece that's going to be the follow-up piece, I think we'll look at that more. I think as a leader quite neatly put, one of the first things that we're going to be looking to do is get the hardware right, the interfaces right, and make sure that we're secure and our information is secure. I think that whole run into LGR is going to all be about data and cleansing data and making sure that we've got the right data to hand over to the new authority.
Yeah, and if I could just come back to him, and also helping people to understand that this will actually benefit them in the end. It will make their job easier. They'll know things that they can't know at the moment, and they'll be able to analyse stuff. And it's selling it that way that will be perhaps win them over.
Absolutely.
Councillor Barnett.
Just one thing, I wasn't clear from the report how much of this work was going to be done by NTEC and how much is going to be done by internal staff.
It's a good question. So what we've worked on at the minute is that the most of the additional costs. Some will be NTEC, and some will be staff, and some will be obviously acquisitions and buying stuff that we need, things like laptops, etc. What we'll do is we'll pull together a proper full costed business plan as opposed to the business case that we pulled together. So the 230 is an estimate of what we think we might need. We know where we need to start, and what we wanted was to get that approval so that we can crack on. The vast majority of the additional costs will be related to NTEC, but the requirement or the requirement of NTEC is that we upskill staff at the same time. So it isn't just about, well, we'll give NTEC some money and they'll come in and do all of the things. What they'll do ultimately is leave us with staff who have got better skills, more developed, and in the areas that we really need.
Okay, I don't see any other hands, so I'll move that from the chair, seconded by Councillor Watson. All those in favour? It's unanimous. Item number 9 is the annual government statement for 2025-26. Excuse me. This report seeks member approval for the 25-26 annual government statement. And the government statement and accompanying action plan sets out the arrangements the council has put in place for the governance of its affairs and facilitating the effective exercise of its functions, including arrangements for the management of risk. This is to ensure that the council operates lawfully and that public money is safeguarded. The report also provides members with an update on the statement of accounts, given the deadline for publication has not been met for reasons members will be familiar with. Good progress, however, has been made, and the accounts will be published much earlier than in previous financial years. We are moving in the right direction rapidly, so I'm pleased to report. So, anybody got any comments? Councillor Barnett?
I just want to say well done on the timescales. I mean, it's a massive improvement from last year.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yes. Thank you. I don't see any other hands, so I'll move that from.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry, Councillor Waffles.
Just wondering, obviously, again, echo what Councillor Barnett said, really welcome this report. Congratulations on getting some work done faster than we thought. We're just wondering how we can fanfare this a little bit, really, because otherwise it's in danger of just being, put somewhere in the dusty part of the website for nobody to really access. But the fact that you've done really well on it, and I think again, it's about telling people how well we've done and the improvement, and sort of trying to get a bit of comms out on that. So I don't know what people think.
More than happy to splash it all over our website. More than happy to attend as many public meetings as you want to talk about accounts, Councillor. Absolutely, right, nice. Paul, and then
Can we celebrate when we meet statutory timescale next year? I really appreciate the comments and so does the team. The amount of work's gone into the improvement is significant, but I think on something like this, you either meet the statutory deadline or you don't. And if you don't, you keep quiet about it. Or quiet to the point that there's a delay notice on the website. So we've done all the things that we need to do in not meeting the statutory timescales, but next year.
Councillor Simmons.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, so I was going to say a similar thing to Paul. It is brilliant, and the team have worked incredibly hard and should be recognised for that. And the work that's gone into that is enormous. But in our little world, it either meets it or it doesn't, and there's no grey in between. So at the moment, it's and we can't shout about that at the moment, but we can celebrate the level of work that the team have done, and I think that's the recognition piece that needs to happen.
Yeah.
And again, walking by the beers next year won't be his deadline.
Thank you. Again, I don't see any hands, so I'll will again move that from the chair, seconded by Councillor Waffles. Thank you. All those in favour? And that is unanimous. Thank you. Item number 10 is the data protection complaint policies. Data Use and Access Act 2025 requires councils to have a separate formal process in place to regulate complaints regarding data processing. The report recommends the adoption of a policy so as to meet this requirement. Councillor Simmons.
Is this just another layer of is this not the way we use the ICO? Or is that I've missed something? I know we've got a lot of policy coming out at the moment around data and separating that and complaints generally, but it almost another process just because it's data. Is that statutory?
It is through you, Chair. It is. The data use and access came out in this year, and part of it is we need a data protection policy, complaints policy, whereby residents have another layer to complain about their data, personal data, and whether we respond to their SARS before we go to the ICO.
Oh, okay.
Just to provide some reassurance, we did reply. We did deal with complaints previously, just part of general policy, and we will. It shouldn't be any additional work or layers. It just be under one policy rather than another. So yeah, I get your point, but it's limited hopefully.
It's shifting one bit of policy to another bit of policy, and
My view was that it's a complaint. If it's under that banner, if it's got a different home almost, it's like there's a risk of it being treated differently or whatever. If all of our complaints have to follow the same process, if you like, maybe sort of fork off into different directions for their home, natural home, where they're going to be dealt with, it's one thing. The whole policy, just seems a bit overkill.
well, I would agree, but this government does love a little bit of a relevant policy, doesn't it? Councillor Wapples.
Thanks, Chair. Just a slight thing. There's an insert link highlighted on page 97. Just wondered if you can assure that we're going to get that in before it gets published.
Brilliant, Chair.
Yes, it will. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments or queries? No, again, I shall move that from the chair then, seconded by councillor Ridley. Thank you. All those in favour? And that is unanimous. Thank you. Item number 11 is the exclusion of the public and press. To consider, in accordance with section 100A brackets 4 of the Local Government Act 1972, whether it is in the public interest that the public and press be excluded from the meeting for the following items of business on the grounds that they involve the likely disclosure of exempt information as defined by Schedule 12.02 of the Act. Thank you, Matt. Pardon? Are you second? You're second. Thank you very much. That's been moved and seconded. All those in favour? Unanimous. Thank you very much.